Good evening. This is All India Radio and I'm Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government has set a target to achieve saturation levels in all schemes to benefit everyone during Amrit Kaal. President Draupadi Murmu says women have played an important role in shaping values and ethics in Indian society. Political parties go full throttle to woo voters for Tripura Assembly elections. Last day for withdrawal of names in Meghalaya and Nagaland tomorrow. Death toll in Turkey and Syria earthquakes crosses 17,000. Indian Army Field Hospital starts functioning in Iskenderun. And in first test of Gavaskar Border Trophy Cricket Series, India dominates first day's play against Australia at Nagpur. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today asserted that his government is driven by the aspirations and expectations of the people, and it is taking up issues with utmost commitment to resolve them permanently. Replying to the motion of thanks in the Rajya Sabha on the President's address to the joint sitting of Parliament, Mr. Modi said the government has developed a new work culture wherein the benefits are reaching every section of society without any discrimination. The Prime Minister said his government has decided to achieve saturation levels in schemes to benefit everyone during Azadi Ka Amrit Kaal. He said this is true secularism.
हर योजना के जो लाभार्थी हैं 100% लाभ कैसे पहुंचे, बिना रोक टोक के लाभ पहुंचे। और मैं कहता हूं, अगर सच्चा पंथ निरपेक्षता है तो यही है, सच्चा सेक्युलरिज्म है तो यही है। और सरकार उस राह पर बड़ी ईमानदारी के साथ चल पड़ी है।
The Prime Minister listed out several steps taken by his government for the welfare of every section of society.
हमने हर गांव में बिजली पहुंचाने का संकल्प उठाया, समय सीमा में 18,000 गांवों में बिजली पहुंचाई और उस चुनौतीपूर्ण काम करने के पीछे गांवों में एक नई जिंदगी की अनुभूति हुई, उनका विकास तो हुआ, लेकिन सबसे बड़ी बात हुई, देश की व्यवस्था पर उनका विश्वास बढ़ा और विश्वास बहुत बड़ी ताकत होती है।
Mr. Modi said for development of a new India, his government understands the importance of infrastructure development, its scale and also the speed.
हम देश को विकास का ये मॉडल दे रहे हैं, जिसमें हितधारक सबको उनके हक मिले। देश हमारे साथ है। कांग्रेस को बार बार देश नकार रहा है, लेकिन कांग्रेस और उसके साथी अपनी साजिशों से बाज नहीं आते हैं और जनता ये देख भी रही है और उनको हर मौके पर सजा भी देती रही है।
During the Prime Minister's speech, opposition members continued raising slogans in the well of the House, demanding a joint parliamentary committee probe into the Adani Group issue. After the speech, members of the Congress, TMC, NCP and others staged a walkout. Later, the House adopted the motion of thanks on the President's address. The Lok Sabha is holding discussion on the Union Budget for 2023-24. Participating in the discussion, YSR Congress MP Bharat Ram Ardani termed it as an expansive budget and lauded the government for coming up with such a budget at a time when the world is facing global economic crisis. Professor Shaugatur Rai of TMC said the budget does not make a mention of how to tackle issues like unemployment, inflation and poverty. CPIM's AM Arif said the allocation of MG Narega has been reduced. Hasnain Masoodi of National Conference said that allocation for midday meal scheme, ICDS, food processing and agriculture has been reduced in budget 2023-24. Members of various other political parties, including Supriya Sule of NCP, N.K. Premachandran of RSP and Jagdambika Pal of BJP, also participated in the discussion. The discussion remained inconclusive. However, the Rajya Sabha has been adjourned for the day following BJP members' protest against the opposition's ruckus during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's reply on the President's address to the joint sitting of Parliament. After Mr. Modi's reply, when the House was taking up discussion on the Union Budget 2023-24, BJP members objecting to the conduct of opposition members created noisy scenes. Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar urged for order in the House, but the Treasury bench members continued with their protest, leading to adjournment of the House twice before being adjourned for the day. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today said that 2,25,620 people renounced their Indian citizenship in 2022. Dr. Jaishankar gave this information in a written reply in the Rajya Sabha. He said over 85,000 Indian citizens relinquished their citizenship in 2020. Over 1,63,000 people relinquished their citizenship in 2021. President Draupadi Murmu has stressed on women's participation in the country's social and economic reformation. She said whenever women got equal opportunities, they surpassed men in most cases. President Murmu was speaking at the inaugural ceremony of the National Convention on Women as Foundation of Value-Based Society at Brahma Kumari's Om Shanti Retreat Center in Gurugram today.
देश में असंख्य महिलाएं हैं जो बिना किसी डिग्री या फॉर्मल एजुकेशन के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में उत्कृष्ट योगदान दे रहे हैं। मैं प्रायः कहती हूं कि महिला सशक्तिकरण के सामाजिक और आर्थिक दोनों पहलू हैं, लेकिन साथ ही साथ इसमें आध्यात्मिक पहलुओं को भी जोड़ना चाहिए। भारत विश्व की 5वीं सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था है। भारत एक और बड़ी आर्थिक महाशक्ति के रूप में उभरे, इसके लिए एक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है वर्कफोर्स में भी अधिक से अधिक महिलाएं भागीदारी बने।
The President also launched the National Awareness Program Empowering the Family. She said a mother's teachings can bring moral and ethical values to children, and she should teach them to prioritize humanitarian causes.
कि माता गुरु होती है, बच्चे अनुकरणीय होती है, माताओं से ही सीखते हैं, बड़ों से सीखते हैं, समाज से सीखते हैं। बच्चों का दिमाग कच्ची मिट्टी की तरह नरम और आकारहीन होती है। इस मिट्टी के पिंड से दिव्य मूर्ति बनाई जा सकती है। माँ यदि चाहे तो बच्चों को दिव्यता दे सकती है, यानी माताओं के प्रयासों से परिवार एक आदर्श परिवार बन सकता है।
President Murmu expressed concern over atrocities perpetrated by humans on nature and said if humans do not stop, nature will retaliate with the same force. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
निकल पड़े स्वाधीनता के पथवाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देख रहे हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
सुनिए स्वराज का ऑडियो संस्करण शनिवार को पूर्वाह्न 11 बजे से ऑल इंडिया रेडियो नेटवर्क पर।
Welcome back. You are listening to the news at 9. Campaigning has gained momentum in Tripura for assembly elections. Political parties are leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters. BJP President JP Nadda today addressed Vijay Sankalp rally at Kayarpur. He said Tripura witnessed peace, prosperity and development after the BJP came to power in 2018. Mr. Nadda asserted that his party is committed to the overall development of the people. He said the party would fulfill all the promises made in its manifesto. Congress leaders Birjit Sinha and Ashish Kumar Saha also campaigned in the state today. Prominent left leaders, including former Chief Minister Manik Sarkar, Brinda Karat and Sitaram Yechury, also campaigned. Leaders of TMC, Tipra Motha Party, held poll rallies and door-to-door campaigns. The state will go to polls on the 16th of this month. Tomorrow is the last day for withdrawal of nominations for assembly elections in Meghalaya and Nagaland. In Meghalaya, nomination papers of 375 candidates were found valid after scrutiny yesterday, out of which 36 are female candidates. Our correspondent covering the elections reports on women's representation in the state.
the first-time voter will be given these medals. This is for two categories. One is for the 18 plus who have just enrolled, and another is for the first-time voters. So these are for the first-time voters who have just enrolled. They'll be given this certificate cum medal, and also the first 5 voters in every polling station, they will also be given a medal and a kind of a recognition. So because our polling starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, so to encourage people to come early to vote, we're giving the first 5 voters of every polling station medals. So these are called the first 5 early voter medal.
We apologize for the wrong bite there. In Nagaland, 200 nominations have been found valid, including 4 women candidates. Our Kohima correspondent reports that candidates of various political parties have kick-started campaigning by holding rallies and meetings. Over 10 political parties and independents are in the fray. Both the states will go to polls on the 27th of this month for 60 assembly seats each. The Uttar Pradesh Global Investors Summit 2023 will begin in Lucknow tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the summit along with the Global Trade Show and launch Invest UP 2.0. The Global Investors Summit, scheduled from 10th to 12th of February, is the flagship investment summit of the UP government. The death toll from the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria has risen to more than 17,000. According to President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, at least 14,000 people have died in Turkey. In Syria, at least 3,162 have been killed. Agencies and rescue workers have warned that the figures are likely to rise further, with many people still trapped under the rubble. Meanwhile, the field hospital set up by the Indian Army at Iskenderun in Turkey has started functioning. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today said in a tweet that the hospital is running surgical and emergency wards, X-ray lab and medical store. Dr. Jaishankar said the Indian Army will work round the clock to provide relief to the earthquake-affected people. A field hospital has also been set up by India at Hatay. Indian team of medical and critical care specialists and equipment are preparing to treat emergencies. In cricket, India restricted Australia to 177 runs in their first innings in the opening test of the 4-match Border Gavaskar Trophy in Nagpur. In reply, India was 77 for the loss of 1 wicket at stumps. Rohit Sharma, who scored 56 runs, was at the crease. For the hosts, Ravindra Jadeja took 5 wickets and Ashwin 3. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Union Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur will participate in the opening ceremony of the 3rd edition of Khelo India Winter Games at Gulmarg tomorrow. More from our correspondent.
The famous ski resort Gulmarg in Kashmir is all set for Khelo India National Winter Games, which are scheduled from tomorrow. All the arrangements and preparations have been finalized for this high-profile sports event. The Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports, Shri Anurag Singh Thakur, landed in Kashmir today to inaugurate the 3rd edition of Khelo India Winter Games in Gulmarg tomorrow. While lauding the scenic beauty of Kashmir, he said that the whole nation is waiting for this mega event at the snow-clad peaks of Gulmarg, in which more than 1,500 athletes from across the country are participating in the 5-day national event beginning tomorrow. Sunil Kohl for AR News from Srinagar.
After spending the afternoon at Borishal visiting the historic Oxford Church and staying on board Ganga Vilas overnight on Wednesday, the cruise members enjoyed a canal cruise at Swarupkati in Pirojpur district of Bangladesh. Today, the tourists were welcomed by police officials at their arrival at Nesarabad and Banaripara from Borishal. Later in the afternoon, they left for their next leg of journey to Narayanganj, where they will stay overnight. In the Union Territory of Ladakh, Kargil is experiencing heavy snowfall with 1 to 3 inches of snow having accumulated in several places. The Met Department has forecast more snowfall tonight. Meanwhile, an advisory has been issued to avoid unnecessary movement along avalanche-prone areas. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government has set a target to achieve saturation levels in all schemes to benefit everyone during Amrit Kal. President Draupadi Murmu says women have played an important role in shaping values and ethics in Indian society. Political parties go full throttle to woo voters for Tripura Assembly elections. Last day for withdrawal of names in Meghalaya and Nagaland tomorrow. Death toll in Turkey and Syria. Earthquakes crosses 17,000. Indian Army Field Hospital starts functioning in Iskenderun. And in first test of Gavaskar Border Trophy Cricket Series, India dominates first day's play against Australia at Nagpur. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.